Tonight's homework video, we are continuing our unit on volume. This video is actually going to have to do with volume using the standard algorithm or using the volume formula. So let's review our vocabulary. First of all, volume is the amount of space that something can take up inside of an object. We only find the volume inside of three-dimensional shapes like cubes and rectangular prisms. And finally, we have our formula for volume. So this is going to be important for you to write down if you don't have it already written down in your math notebook somewhere. But the formula for volume equals length times width times height. Okay, so length times width times height. And that is our formula for volume. This is a formula that we're going to be using all throughout the rest of this unit now. Alright, so a rectangular prism looks like this. It is a kind of like a cube, but instead of all of the sides being a square, the sides or the faces on the sides of the object are rectangular shaped. So we have our different units here, and if you remember what we said, that our formula for volume was length times width times height, then this would make a little bit more sense to you now. On any kind of 3D shape, there's 3 dimensions. That's why it's called 3D. One of the dimensions being length, one of the dimensions being width, and one of the dimensions being height. Okay, so that's really important to remember. Length, width, and height. Okay, so like we talked about, the volume is length times width times height. Remember, you are multiplying 3 different numbers to find the volume, so your answer will be cubed. Remember, we talked about that with units cubed. You have to make sure that you're putting this little 3 up here in the corner. That is an exponent. You need to make sure that you're putting it at the top. You're multiplying 3 different numbers, so your answer is going to be cubed. 3 dimensions. So first of all, let's talk about this cube. In this cube, we have 3 dimensions here, and let's just identify the length, the width, and the height. First of all, we said that the length is our way across this way, so our length would be 5. And the reason, let me just stop for a second. The reason why I do this little curly Q L is because if I did my length like this, like a lowercase l, it almost looks like I'm putting 1 equals 5. And normally we don't use capital L either to do that. We use like a little cursive L. Looks like a little curly Q. So if you were wondering why I was writing it like that, that was why. So we're identifying our different lengths here. So I have my length is 5, my width goes across this way, and my width is 8, and my height is up and down right here. My height is 6. So my formula is length times width times height. So that means my volume is going to equal 5 times 8 times 6. And if you think back to your properties of multiplication, the commutative property says that it doesn't matter what order you multiply any of these numbers in, as long as you're multiplying them all together, you're going to get the same answer. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to multiply 5 times 6. I know 5 times 6 equals 30. And if I multiply 30 times 8, right here, I know that I'm going to get 240. So my volume for this cube is 240 units, because it didn't tell me if it was centimeters, feet, inches. It didn't tell me, so I'm going to assume it's units, cubed. That is so important that you put that little 3 up there. Okay, go ahead, pause the video and try this one on your own. Remember, volume equals length times width times height. Okay, hopefully you pause the video. Let's identify our different units here. Our length, they put it up top here instead of down at the bottom, but we know that it's the same. Our length is 4. Oops. Our length equals 4. Our width is 6. And our height is 5. So our volume is going to be 4 times 6 times 5. So I know 6 times 5 is 30, and 30 times 4 is 120. So the volume of this shape is 120 units cubed. How did you do? Did you get that one right? All right, and one more. Go ahead and pause the video and practice this on your own. Hopefully you're getting the hang of this. Okay, hopefully you pause the video here. We know that our length equals 7, our width is 3, and our height is 9. So 7 times 3 times 9 is going to give us our volume. So 7 times 3 is 21, and 21 times 9 is going to give us 189. And here's the most important part. You can't get the answer correct if you don't put this, units cubed. Hopefully you got that one right. All right, congratulations. You have now used the correct formula for volume. Remember, volume equals length times width times height. Go to Canvas and complete the quiz. Good luck.